Okay, we're going to start Intro to Color Theory in this video. This worksheet was borrowed using it from kitchentableclassroom.com. Wonderful website. Love to use that. So what we're going to need to start off is some kind of straight edge. Does not have to be a ruler, but of course it can. A pencil and an eraser for mistakes, and 2 sizes of circles. I think that the CD or DVD works perfectly on this size paper. Then you need a smaller circle. So I'm going to use the bottom. The top was a little too large, so you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, so step 1 for this project is to place the CD, DVD on the upper section of the paper, because we're going to write some things down here. And we're going to lightly trace it. Can always outline it later. Move that aside gently, don't scratch it. And we're going to do the best we can to place this in the center. Very hard to see. Just do the best you can. Just do the best you can. Hold it down so it doesn't move. And there is your circle inside of a circle. So go ahead and get that done, and we're going to come back and divide that up into sections. So take your time and we'll come right back for that. Okay, now we need to divide that into sections, and this will be the easiest way to get that done. We're going to use the ruler and try your best to put it in the middle, and you're not going to draw all the way through, but just through the circle parts. Okay, now if you draw all the way through, you can erase that. Now we're not going to come here. We're going to go diagonal. Just do the best you can. Just through the outer circle. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just through the outer circle. So now you have several sections that we're going to use to put colors in. All right, on the inside, you can put a triangle. Now we're going to make a point for the triangle right here, point for a triangle right here, and a point for a triangle right here. Now the triangle is going to point or touch the inner parts of the circle, and it's also where the primary colors can be found on the color wheel. We have primary colors, secondary colors, hues, tints, complementary colors, analogous colors. So we got a lot to do on this page. So go ahead and take your time getting that done, and we'll come back and talk about those rainbow letters that we discussed in elementary school. Okay, so on the side of my page, I wrote Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, which is a shade of blue, blue-violet, and then violet, which is the same thing in this situation as purple. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these letters on our color wheel lightly, okay? Because we can go over this with a Sharpie when we're all finished. All right, so our 3 primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. Okay, and that's why the triangle points are on those 3 colors. The primary colors are the 3 colors that can create every other color with mixing. So these are your primary colors, and what is in between are your secondary colors. So that's what we're going to practice mixing if we have paints, and if not, you can just color these sections. So red and yellow make the orange, blue and yellow make green, and blue and red make purple or on this sheet, we're going to call it violet. Okay, so we've done a lot of work so far. We were called the Roy G. Biv, and we learned that in elementary school when we talked about what are the colors of the rainbow? What order are the colors in? Roy G. Biv. And so here we have those colors in the orders of which the mixing is. Red, yellow makes orange, red, blue makes violet, blue, yellow makes green. All right, so when we come back, we're going to talk about the complementary colors. So go ahead and get this done, and then we'll come back together. Okay, so I went ahead and drew some little rectangles and divided them in half. Yes, I'm a little OC. They needed to be perfect, so I cut a little piece of heavy paper and then divided it in half. So anyway, I needed 3 rectangles divided in half to look at the complementary colors. Complementary colors are opposite on the color wheel. So here we have blue. And what is opposite? Orange. They're complementary colors. Complementary colors mean if you're doing a picture, they might look kind of cool beside each other. All right. Green is across from red. And then last but not least, yellow is across from violet. All right. So we have the primary colors, and then we have the complementary colors. And now we're going to talk about another type of color, the analogous colors. So let me get that set up, and those are going to be the colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Okay, so what I did was I drew 3 boxes divided in half. Now there are more than just these, but we just are writing down some examples. So let's go with our primary colors, red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow, and let's write down one color that is next to it on the color wheel. So red has 2 analogous colors, and I am probably mispronouncing that. Red, it has violet, and it has orange. So you could write either one of those there. Blue has 2 colors next to it, violet and green. I'm going to write violet, V, next to that. And yellow also has 2 colors next to it. I think I'll choose green since I've already used orange. So there you go. We've done our complementary, our analogous colors, and we've done our rainbow order, Roy G. Biv, primary, secondary colors, and now we're going to look at cool and warm colors. So let me get that set up on this paper while you're working on what we have here. Okay, so I didn't have a whole lot of room on mine, but I wanted to make sure I got cool colors and warm colors on my chart, and we'll do a little bit with coloring on that so that we can make sure we understand. The warm colors are here together, the Roy, but they're on this side of the color wheel. The cool colors are on the opposite side of the color wheel. So when you divide it down the middle diagonally, such as this, then you have the separation of warm and cool colors. Okay, so what we need to go ahead and do now on our own is get our crayons, our markers. If you have paint, you're welcome to do that, or colored pencils. I think since I'm afraid markers would be a little dark on this or run out of ink, I like markers for small areas. I think I'm going to stick with colored pencils on this after I outline it. So go ahead and do that. I'll come back and show you what mine looks like, and then we'll talk about the project. Oh, what a wonderful, busy, colorful sheet this turned out to be. So a real quick review. Order of the colors in the rainbow. So I stuck a little color beside each one. Primary colors are the 3 colors from which all colors are created. The primary being red, blue, yellow. And then the secondary colors, which I have this triangle done here. Red and yellow make orange, yellow and blue make green, and blue and red make purple or violet. The warm colors we discussed are on this side if you were to divide it in half. Red, yellow, orange. The cool colors are on the opposite side. Green, blue, and violet. Then we did our complementary colors, which are opposite each other on the color wheel. Our analogous colors, which are beside each other. So when we have red, orange is not the only color beside it. So is violet. When we have blue, violet is not the only color beside it. So is green. Yellow, not the only color beside it being green, but also orange. So now we're going to move on to our project. And I am going to get you started, and then I will come back with mine not finished, but I really want you to think about it before you see mine. I don't want you to do what I do. But the first step is to take any straight edge. Again, anything will do. And you're going to lightly draw an X on your paper. And then I want you to put a line through the center. Okay, and I did very lightly. I can go back and make it darker. Now, I want for you to draw a picture in here. You can even do your hand if you can't think of anything else. But I want you to draw a picture in here. And then after we do that, we're going to come back and discuss how we're going to color it. So go ahead, think of something. Go to Art Hub for Kids. Go to YouTube, anything. But you want something simple. You want something very, very simple. If you have a stencil at home, you could even do a stencil. You could do an organic shape on there. So, and when I say organic, let's say you just wanted to do something like that, a big old spot. You could do your hand. You could do a spot. You can draw something else, a turtle, a seahorse, a seashell, a whale, whatever you want to. So go ahead and do that. Take your time thinking about it, but not a lot of detail because you're going to be coloring this primary, secondary, and complementary colors, so you don't want too much going on. So think about it, and I'll be back with whatever I decide. Okay, so I chose a whale, and this is what I'm talking about when I say choose something simple. Very little detail. All right, so what we're going to do is you're going to need to take your pencil, and you're going to do this extremely lightly because you will erase this. But I find when I am doing anything that involves specific placement of colors, I need to put a little letter there so I don't mess up. So we did our color wheel, and I had to turn my paper sideways, so I think to do this part, I'm going to rotate it back around and look at my color wheel this way. So you can go back and flip to your earlier page, but if we remember, we had red, and I mean that's light, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet or purple. whichever makes you feel more comfortable, V or P. All right, now I did that lightly because as I color, I'm going to erase those. I don't want those letters there. All right, so that's going to be what you might consider the outer space. You have positive and negative space here. So the outer is going to be the green. The actual picture design element, the whale, is going to be the complementary color. So if we looked back on our sheet that we already did, the opposite of green, what is opposite green on the color wheel is red. So this part of the whale is going to be red. Okay, so here we have yellow. Opposite yellow on the color wheel, complementary, is purple. Purple. So where we have yellow, that little area right there is going to be purple. So we have the complementary colors in the same triangle section. Yellow and purple are complementary colors. So complementary to orange, what is across from it is blue. So that little part of my whale is going to be blue. Okay, here's my red section. We already decided that complementary to red is green. Opposite is green. So this section right here of my whale is going to be green. All right, so then opposite or the complementary color for purple or violet is yellow. So we're going to make that part yellow. Now, we have one left out right here. What is the complementary color to blue? It's orange. So this section right here is going to be orange. So each triangle of this color wheel has two colors in it, two complementary colors. So in each section of the color wheel triangles, you have two colors. So there's going to be a lot of color action going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and color mine. Please remember to have a simple design. Even if you just want to do your hand, if you want to do something that looks like a big ink blot, anything that breaks up the triangles will work beautifully. So go ahead, I got some coloring to do, and I don't know what I'm going to use yet. It'll be a surprise because I haven't even decided. But I'll come back in a minute and show you my finished project. Okay, I have finished my color wheel, color theory project using my complementary colors and my color wheel. So I want you to take your time and have a good go at that. And then the next project we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and tell you about it, and you can research it as well. But I figured since we were at home, it would be fun to find things around the house and create a color wheel. So you'd find a bunch of red things, a bunch of orange things, a bunch of yellow things, a bunch of green, a bunch of blue, and a bunch of purple, and lay them out in a round circle like the first page we did. Take a picture of it, send it in if you have that capability. I cannot wait to see these.